Hello, Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Fire Force Chapter 208. When we last left our heroes, Sho, after his Adola link with Shinra, seemingly broke free from his brainwashing, really fast, and decided he had to leave without anyone knowing. It was just kind of a real sudden shift in his character. I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. But anyway, he took Arrow with him as a hostage slash follower, and he's probably going to go to wherever he thinks Shinra is. Meanwhile, the rest of the White-Clads have gathered for the final mass before the Cataclysm, because again, we're really ramming up into endgame territory here. So let's jump right on into Chapter 208, the final gathering. Yep, super endgame territory right there. Our cover picture is of Haumea. The Lady of Thunder swims in an unconscious sea. We open on that final mass with Haumea at the front of the church, as all the White-Clads look at her. As Sho escapes from the Nether, Haumea and the others hold mass before the end. By the Evangelist's decree, let the mass begin. Bring fiery ruin. Bring fiery ruin. Bring fiery ruin. So that seems to be something that the White-Clads say in place of La Tome, but last time we also did see them say La Tome. But also, interestingly enough, we see a bunch of, faceless White-Clads say it, Charon says it, Ritsu says it, but Inca doesn't. And that part of that might just be because Inca is not really a member of the cult. She's just kind of there to have a blast and destroy shit. But she hasn't really gotten to do a whole lot. I'm actually kind of curious how Inca feels about her role in all this. Because, Inca, I think, was there... Was she there for the Battle of Hajime? She might have been there at Hajime, and I feel like she was there for the very end of Fuchu Prison. But, she hasn't done a whole lot when the White-Clads' whole thing was that they were going to let her be free, at least before the end. So I'm curious what she thinks. Anyway, Haumea speaks. Sho's absence won't be a problem. And Charon responds, not having the third pillar isn't a problem. And Sumire speaks up. By awakening the Adola Burst, we have been assembling pillars. Until now, that's been our only goal. So you're saying, now that there's 8, we don't need them anymore? It doesn't matter where the pillars are. They can't run from Adola. The pillars are joined with Adola. The Great Cataclysm will soon begin. So that's something I've kind of been wondering since last week. You know, what Haumea said last week about not needing Sho, kind of has me wondering when exactly, if Iris is the 8th pillar, which it very much looks like she is, when did that happen? Because, well, we don't know when most of the pillars became pillars. You know, Shinra, Sho, Haumea, Hirohashi Rame have all definitely been pillars since before the series started. Inca maybe has as well. Nataku only since the Rekka arc. And Sumire seems to have, re-become a pillar, maybe, just because they were running out of people to awaken. And then there's Iris. And if Iris is the 8th pillar, which it very much looks like that she is, then she must have become a pillar very recently. Because they can only do this, because according to Haumea, they can do this as soon as the pillars exist. So her pillar awakening must have been, maybe even during Fuchu. Maybe when the Evangelist protected them, from Dragon's Blast, she had just realized that Iris had immediately been awoken. I don't know. Anyway, Inca chimes in, "Wee! So a whole bunch of people are gonna die again? I'm so excited. It's gonna be so fun. This is amazing!" Inca actually seems kind of different than in the past. When we were first introduced to Inca, she didn't really care about others. But she wasn't so quick for them to die. You know, she would, find burning buildings and be like, hey, I'll save you if you give me money. So she didn't want them to die. It's kind of like Draken in Eden Zero. You can't get money from dead people. So maybe it's Okubo hasn't written her in, 2 years, and he's kind of forgotten her character. Or, hopefully, it's an intentional thing, and her time with the White-Clads has absolutely, introduced this huge killing urge in her. But as Inca hopefully takes takes a more center stage for the final arc, we'll get more details on her, I reckon. Anyway, Ritsu turns to her. Lady Inca, your servant shall protect you until the day you die in agony. You might die first, though. It'll be fun. Let's see who can die first. Yeah, she's definitely gone a little crazy. And Yona, looking even weirder than ever. The time is finally here. We created the Holy Sol. We've gathered the pillars. Soon the pie decoding era will draw to a close. The preparations for the Great Cataclysm are complete. Haumea, are you ready? I've completed my preparations as well. We hear this murmuring all around Haumea. She's entered into this really scratchy art style, too, that I really like. Not entirely sure what the deal with that is, unless she's hearing voices somehow. Also, again, the pie decoding era is I'm assuming that I don't think we ever really got answers as to why Pi was at the Chinese Amaterasu, but that arc is like 2 years old, and I might be forgetting something. But yeah, that was mentioned a few chapters ago, and we'll probably get answers for it sooner rather than later. Especially if it's coming to a close. Anyway, so after Haumea hears those voices, she rubs her eye under her crown. The evangelist is satisfied. So hold on, so those voices are the evangelist? Okay. That's interesting. And Sumire speaks. It has been 250 years since our past failure. It has been, hasn't it? Well, hold on. That little thing sticking out of Yona's mouth. I figured that was a tongue. Is that like a buck tooth? The way it's stationed there, it looks like the way because when we see him from the side here, it's clearly coming from up here. That looks like a tooth to me. I don't know. It has been, hasn't it? So much time since we came to this world. I've waited so long since then. Too long. So, I think we still don't entirely know how they're so old. A part of me thought maybe as Yona, mixes up faces or whatever, he can, in that same way, de-age people, maybe? Because before Sumire was introduced, Yona was the only one we knew was immortal, because we knew he was Raffles the First. But, I don't know. Are they Adolans like Hirohashi Rame? I don't think Haumea is. Haumea, I think... Because we've seen Haumea age. 12 years ago, Haumea was a child. Or however long ago the Kusakabe fire was. She was a little kid at the time. So yeah, there's still... We're just seeing here how many mysteries are still around in the White-Clads. So while I do think this is the final arc that we're getting ready for, I do think it's going to be a fairly long arc. Maybe even lasting a year or so. Anyway, I remember that day. The first cataclysm had failed. But the connection to Adola had been strengthened, and I, Yona, crossed over with the insects. Oh, so Yona's an infernal! We see Yona 250 years ago, and he clearly has the pointed chin and the sharp ears, but he's also clearly an infernal. What the? Is that? Some random passerby sees him. And Yona just grins. The humans, in their wisdom, called me a devil. And he kills the guy. The man lets out as he dies. The first was no good. I needed someone with more influence. Wait, what? What's he talking about? Does he take over people that he's killed? No, because he manipulated people to look like Obi and Hinawa, and they were the first time we saw his powers was Obi and Hinawa, and they're distinctly still alive, right? This is not leading to some twist that they've been dead the whole... No, that'd be so stupid. That'd be such a stupid twist. Because also, then they'd be trying to kill their own ally. Doesn't make any sense. Forget I even thought they might still be Yona's. Anyway, and there she was. The girl I would bestow unto humanity. Amaterasu. Hold, what? With Amaterasu's Adola burst, civilization would bloom once more. A pillar, linked with Adola, was born. So that has to be Hirohashi Rame, right? Because of course he sees her as a tool for civilization, so we only call her Amaterasu. I found a caravan. Men who'd survived the Cataclysm. What are you? This, old bald man, the leader of the caravan, was a man named Raffles Smith. So there actually was a Raffles. Oh, right, because when we saw the diary of Raffles' wife, she noticed a difference. What humanity had survived would have to rebuild from nothing. And so I would make this man their leader. And he, stabbed Raffles in the gut, and, in the heart. I am a messiah. That was the living Raffles. The living Raffles says that as Yona takes Raffles' form. So apparently those religious beliefs were already kind of instilled in him. Humans are curious things, with a fondness for made-up stories. Books, movies, manga, myths, and religions. They would believe without hesitation, and I would forge a new religion. And we see Yona kind of absorbs Raffles into his body. So much weird shit going on in this chapter. Raffles would return with Amaterasu and become a messiah. Just a simple caravaner, who believed he could restore the world. Just a simple man with a belief. And he builds a religion, fitting for humans, a simple people who vomit nothing but nonsense. The ignorant and incompetent never change. The only difference between him and the others was that he felt the touch of Adola. There was no other difference. So, looking at this page, I realize I'm stopping a lot throughout the chapter, because there's just so much meat to dig in this chapter. But I've talked a lot in this series about how Fire Force is a series that deeply believes in the power of faith to better the lives of ordinary people, whether or not it's true. We see that with Hinoa's flashback about founding the Company 8 when he can't shoot his friend with the unbaptized gun. We see that with Hoyan and his conversation with Shinra after word about the truth of the Sol Temple started to disseminate, how Hoyan still carried that faith because it helped people. The power of faith is a major theme in this series, and seeing the villains, their whole thing is religion is just this dumb thing that doesn't matter, really enforces that. Because, of course, the villains are going to be, antithetical to the series' main theme. Anyway, where was I? Only difference was that he felt the touch of Adola. There was no other difference. This is where it all began. Amaterasu became nourishment for the people. I pondered on what to call this new religion. The Holy Sol? The people adored the Holy Sol. So much so that even now it carries on. But of course, people love their little stories. Since that day, she has been rebuilding society and preparing its destruction. So yeah, it seems like he just stuck her in this tube where she's been for 250 years, and we know that she's not just that Hitohashi Rame, is not some silent little girl, mindlessly powering society. She's something. We don't know a lot about her yet, but she's interacted with both Shinra and Inka. Though I reckon Inka doesn't understand that. Because if she did, she'd have told Yona, who would then be including that in this story, I think. Anyway, we then see a bunch of new White-Clads. Two of them don't seem to have faces, but just have kind of marks. The other three do have faces. The short one is a pitch black face. The Great Cataclysm Execution Specialist Force is here as well, eh? That is way too long a name, Charon. And Dragon is not happy with this. The Cataclysm Force? That freak show creeps me out. And then a guy that looks like maybe Dragon's personal servant? I don't know, some kind of fanboy. There are none in this world that can best thee, Dragon. Of course not, Fairy. But when Cataclysm ariseth, naught shall remain, nor wilt thou. So yeah, I guess they're well aware that they're not going to survive this. Though I imagine Yona and Sumire and the other Adolans will. Just because they came from Adola, so they can probably stand an all-fire world. I don't know. I've had enough of this chatter. This is a Charon. There's a reason we're doing this mass, so let's do it. Oh, that's also an interesting thing. We just heard how much Yona finds religion to be a joke. But the White-Clads still have this religious ceremony. A mass is distinctly religious. Though there seems to be some kind of practical reason, so that's probably what's going on. All that remains is to enact the final preparation. And Haumea turns to Sumire. Sumire, oh, but of course. And she takes this kind of pose. I hope you can see you can see what I'm doing. with her eyes closed, and she puts her hands down like that, and this like airwave, like the dust all like billows around her. Her eyes open, and this light comes in from the roof. And we see some noise throughout. I'm not sure what town. This might be Tokyo? I can't quite tell. I don't think it's Asakusa. Another earthquake? How many does that make this month? These are like two random guys on the street. Have you heard the rumor? People are saying there's going to be another Great Cataclysm. Stop it. A cataclysm on top of human combustion? We'd be wiped out for good. So also it seems that we know the White-Clads have kind of joined up with the Empire at this point. But like they're not hiding the whole end of the world thing coming on. I don't know. The people of the world are afraid. This is Haumea. Let us show them their fiery ruin. And Sumire, with like the creepiest lighting I've ever seen. The next earthquake will do just that. The time of ruin is at hand, and the evangelist's plot will move forth into broad daylight. To be continued, chapter 209, Secret Feud. Okay. So this was a big chapter. Just thinking about like the plot of this series. As I guess the White-Clads are ready for their final mission, which will be very soon. Though we also do get so many more people that need to get brought down. There are the 5 members of the Cataclysm Force, Dragon, his henchman Fairy, still, Haumea and Sumire and Inka and Charon and Ritsu, and of course the Evangelist. Like, I've been saying this is the final arc, and it certainly is, but there is still so much to go in this series. There are so many people that need to be brought down. We need to see Arthur get his revenge on Dragon. I mean, I don't know what Fairy's deal is going to be. We don't know enough about him. Same with the Cataclysm Force. I really want to see a Shinra Charon smackdown. Just like, I need to see Shinra win against Charon. There's still Yona also to deal with. I don't know. I also don't have a lot to say right now because I feel like I really dug into everything this chapter has during the read through. But yeah, there's a lot coming. It's the end of the world. And we'll have to see how the Fire Force handles it. So I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe. Or, do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!